John Keeley for Unfrozen Blog TV. I'm joined tonight by Ed Frankovic of WNST, Baltimore Sports Talk Radio. He's got a great blog that you should be reading every day because Ed is a faithful chronicler of the Caps here. And then to my right, Ted Starkey of the Washington Times. Ted, you've been with us before. Thanks for coming back.
Absolutely.
First topic tonight. Let's talk about the Winter Classic. It seems to me, guys, that there's a week removed from the event, a real afterglow. I mean, Washington is still abuzz about this game. Let me just ask both of you first, Ted, your primary associations of what happened. You were there. Give us a little bit of a flavor.
I mean, I think it was a big win. I mean, obviously, the line is just 2 points, but obviously the team really wanted to win that game. They played one of their best games of the year in Pittsburgh, and I think the work ethic shows that this team can work hard, and I think they need to kind of bring that forward and through the second half of the season.
Ed, you were back in D.C. and following the game. You were on Twitter active. What was your sense, and what's your sense been the last week of that remarkable game?
That was riveting. It was absolutely amazing. It was incredible scenery. And you take the HBO 24/7 series and put that on top of it, it was just phenomenal. Anybody who watched that series on HBO, watched the game, it was just amazing. I think we're going to be talking about that for several weeks, several months.
Guys, tonight we're at the 41 game mark. 41 are in the book, right at the midpoint of the season. I think what strikes me, what stands out most to me, is we don't know if this Capitals team is even going to win the Southeast Division this year. What should we be looking for in the second half of the season, Ted?
I think, it'll be interesting to see what the Caps do at the trade deadline. They have about a month and a half to figure out what they want to do. I still think they'll probably get a second-line center at some point at the deadline. And obviously Tampa Bay and Atlanta are doing their best to keep up with the Caps. I mean, Tampa Bay addressed the goaltending situation, which was really a problem when they got Dwayne Rollison from the Islanders.
Yeah, we saw that here last week, didn't we?
Yes, he's a good goalie. In Atlanta, they've kind of faded a bit. It'll be interesting to see if the Thrashers decide to, maybe they might make a move down the stretch, but it won't be like last year where they won by a wide margin.
All right. Ed, what are you looking for in the second half of the season? And by the way, I should let our viewers know that you have just put up a mid-season analysis. You've evaluated the Caps from top to bottom, management, coaches, players, WNST website. Make sure you check out that evaluation. But tell us, what should we be looking for in the second half?
Well, I think the first half, we saw a lot of mediocre performances from a lot of these players. I don't think it's about the other teams. I think it's about the Caps getting their system down and getting back to playing the way they can. If they don't get this offense going at all, it's first round and done.
Do we even know what system the Caps are going to be playing in the playoffs?
It's kind of muddled because, I mean, you see some of these games and they're trying to go for the offense, and other games, it's sometimes just a mess. I mean, some of the times these players aren't clicking together, and I don't know if there's too much line shifting or just too much trying to go back and forth between defense and offensive philosophies, and it's just sometimes they're not on the same page.
Okay, let's wrap it up here. Tell me where, for both of you, where you see this roster now in terms of legitimate Stanley Cup contention. Is it there, or how far away are they?
Well, I like what they have in net, and I like the defense. The acquisition of Scott Hannon was a great one. It's a type of defenseman the Caps have not had in years back there on the blue line. The offense needs to change. They need to make some moves up front, at least one at center, maybe a second. I'd like to see that top six much more solid, possibly bump a guy like Brooks Lake down to the third line where you can really have three lines can go at you.
Yeah. Ted, what are you looking for maybe for roster tinkering?
I think at the deadline it would be important for them to get a second line center because they really need to get some stability in that. Look at 2 years ago, the Penguins got Bill Guerin, lifted them all the way to the finals. They need some kind of veteran presence there. Someone who's been through the playoff wars, and I think it would really behoove them to bring somebody in who really brings that experience and even some goals for the postseason because they really need to fill that hole. We've been waiting for them to get that center for a while, and they only got about a month and a half to do it.
All right, a guy like Jason Arnott might be available at the deadline from New Jersey. He's won a Stanley Cup. He's captain. That could be a perfect guy to come in and center a second line.
Interesting call. All right, guys, look, thanks for joining me. Ted Starkey from the Washington Times, Ed Frankovic from WNST. Both of them are on Twitter. Follow them on Twitter. Follow their work online. And for OFBTV, John Keeley, thanks for watching.